My ex, 20F, cheated on me, 21M, with a training friend, 20M. As the title describes, I was in a relationship with my partner, Jane, for 3.5 years, and she cheated on me with a guy I knew for 2 years. I met this guy, Joe, through a mutual sport we played. We became friends because of our shared passion for it, and at the time I had been dating Jane for just over a year. Often, I would bring Jane to my training sessions because she insisted on being there. However, after attending for roughly a year, I started noticing changes. She began looking at Joe differently and acting differently around him. Joe is one of the most simple-minded people I've ever met. He has nothing going for him. In contrast, I provided safety, loyalty, and opportunity through our relationship. Unfortunately, I went through a rough time. I left my job due to poor treatment, so I was unemployed for about 2 months. During that time, I discovered that Jane had been talking to Joe over social media and meeting up with him behind my back. Joe would pick her up from our house to take her places, and I never knew. She started going to the gym with him, having lunch dates, paddleboarding, watching sunsets with him on multiple occasions, and even sending intimate pictures of herself. I found out about the pictures because she sent them to me and told me she had sent them to him. I laid down a very clear boundary. If she didn't remove him from her life and stop seeing him, we were done. In return, she turned off her location, started ignoring me more and more, and refused to go out or do anything with me. She rejected any form of physical affection. No sex, no hand-holding, no kisses, no hugs. By this point, I already knew what was coming. I was helping to train kids, and she sent me a message. "I'm going out with Joe. I'll be home before you finish." I got home at 7 p.m, but she never came home. Her car was still in the driveway, but Joe had picked her up. She did this the night before too, but I didn't know what she was doing at the time. I stayed up, ready and willing to break up with her the moment she walked through the door. But as expected, she never came home. At 11:30 p.m, she messaged me, saying, "We need to talk." I already knew what was coming, so I asked her not to break up with me over social media. I left the house that night, and unbeknownst to me, 30 minutes after I left, Jane and Joe were at my old house, spending the night together. Joe claimed he was protecting her from me, but I'm a police officer and have never laid a hand on anyone. I don't do drugs, and I rarely drink. Joe says he slept on the couch, which I find hard to believe. For over 6 months, they went behind my back and did God knows what together. 3 weeks after the breakup, they were posting about each other every day, sharing pictures and stories. I blocked both of them, but I found out about this through mutual friends. I told them not to update me. Joe tried to reach out by asking our mutual friends to tell me to unblock him, but I told him to fuck off. He claims he wanted to clear the air and make things right, yet when he shows up to training, he avoids eye contact, doesn't speak to me, and is afraid to even be near me alone. Obviously, Jane had checked out of the relationship long before any of this happened, but almost every day she said she was willing to make an effort to work on the relationship. We barely argued and never screamed at each other throughout our time together. But when I brought up that she needed to cut Joe off because their friendship was unhealthy, she became defensive, calling me insecure, petty, and accusing me of not letting her have any friends. Those are the telltale signs of a narcissist, right? What I don't understand is why, if we were constantly having conversations about what we could improve in the relationship, and I was the only one ever putting in effort, she didn't just break up with me a year ago to be with Joe. After 3.5 years together, I asked to meet in person to say goodbye. She ignored me for 2 days, saying she didn't want me to hurt her or yell at her in person. I have never yelled at anyone in my life, and I've never hurt anyone. After she kept dodging me, I finally had enough and told her, "Meet me at the park at exactly 7 p.m. If you don't show up, I'm leaving and blocking you on everything." She didn't respond. I showed up at 6:30 p.m., waited 30 minutes, and at exactly 7 p.m, I sent her a message saying, "I waited for 30 minutes and you didn't show up. I'm putting the spare keys in the mailbox. Goodbye." She started blowing up my phone, texting me, "You said around 7, not at 7. I told her to reread the message and then blocked her on everything. I knew Joe for 2 years through our training. I invited him into my house, we drank together, went out together, and did a lot together. He ended up betraying me and weaseling his way into my life. Don't get me wrong, I know Jane is a narcissist, and I'm just upset that I didn't pick up on it sooner. In the back of my mind, I knew something would happen between them, but I didn't want to believe it. Obviously, I'm upset and betrayed right now. It only happened a month ago, and it sucks. I've heard all the usual, "You'll be fine without her," and I know I will be. Never in my life would I dream of doing something like that to anyone. Joe is going around telling people that I used to beat Jane and that I have a drinking problem, but he's too scared to talk to me when I'm right in front of him. Jane is 90% of the problem, and Joe is 10%. It just blows my mind that people can act that way, especially toward their partner and best friend. I've got more details if anyone needs them. Cheers. And sorry for the poor structure. I'm emotional right now. I specifically want to know why she didn't just break things off earlier. Why make me sit around wondering where she was? Why couldn't she respect a simple boundary and just drop one person to improve our relationship? Why ignore me mentally and physically for so long? Why make me feel like I was doing everything wrong and that I was useless? Why make the one person you're supposed to love feel like a burden and the worst person ever? Edit 1. When she was doing what she was doing, I made it very clear on 2 occasions that she needed to cut Joe off or I would leave. She would stop for a day, then go straight back to it. After the second time, everything came to light. Edit 2. Thanks for the support. I'm not interested in hearing from either of them anymore. I was looking more for the psychology behind it, so I can avoid this in the future. You've all given me some very good and obvious points, and I couldn't be more grateful. I've been emotional about the whole thing, but the time to move on is now, and I'm glad to be doing so. Update 1. We haven't been split up for even a month, and Joe has already fully moved in with her. Let the fun begin. He's going to get cheated on next, lol. Top comments. Comment 1. Dude, you are 21 years old. This is a lesson. Get therapy if you need it. If you're a police officer, you should have easy access. Be thankful Joe showed up, because imagine if someone like him emerged after marriage and kids. You'd be screwed. Thank your luck, count your blessings, and in your next relationship, try not to carry this baggage. Also, make sure you communicate your clear and hard boundaries and be ready to walk away as soon as they are crossed. You failed to do this in this relationship, so don't make the same mistakes. Good luck. Comment 2. Lesson to take from this. If the woman you are dating either befriends a new guy or an ex-partner and starts hanging out with them without you, it's over. Your girlfriend or wife hanging out and spending time with another man is called dating. There is no other legit reason for it. If you allow it, she will lose all respect for you. Any woman I'm with who says anything about hanging out with or having a new male friend, I dump her. I'm not putting myself through it anymore. Call me insecure, controlling, yada yada yada. I don't care. I will never put up with that ever again. Life is too short. Comment 3. You dodged a big one there. You are lucky Jane showed you her real self before you got more invested. You need to thank asshole Joe for this. He did you a favor. You are 21, just starting out in life, and this was probably your first real relationship. Heartbreak is a bitch. We all had to deal with it in life. I feel for you, but you have to get over it. You need to heal right now. Focus on yourself and your job. With time, you will recover. Asking for help, friends, family, therapy, etc. is the way to go. Keep them blocked. If Joe is spreading lies, try asking a lawyer to write a cease and desist slander letter. You need to protect yourself, your reputation and job. Stay strong. Comment 4. You have to set some boundaries for yourself. That woman showed you several times she wasn't interested, and you kept reaching out to her and trying to extend an olive branch and trying to meet and talk and all of the stuff. Why? You've got to know when no means no. You've got to know when to move on. It's over. She doesn't want to talk to you. Don't repeat the cycle. Have some dignity and self-respect. You deserve better. And don't take her back when she comes crawling back to you, because she will come back and beg for forgiveness. Say no and close the door on the chapter. Long story short, I was with this girl for 4 years. She cheated on me with a mate of mine for 2 years, But I have the info. She's pregnant. She's been pregnant for 12 weeks, so either it happened before or the same week we broke up, which is hilarious. I knew it would happen. I called it. He has no idea what's about to happen to him. Also, he's been shunned from the gym, lost all his friends, dropped out of the reserves, and now has a kid. This is the greatest thing to have happened to me this year. I couldn't be happier for their downfalls. Update 1. Didn't clear a few things up, so bear with me. Jane and Joe are happy for now. Within 3 months of us being broken up, she and the guy she cheated on me with are living together, posting everywhere on social media, and now they have a kid on the way. 0% chance it's mine. To me, their relationship is built on the idea that the grass is greener, but I have money on it that it won't last. They have no chance. What they're doing just seems like a desperate attempt to make everyone believe that they are a happy couple, but I know that won't last. Update 2. I've had people say the reason she cheated on me was because I was too easy. I get that women need constant emotional stimulation or the thrill or whatever the hell it is, but I treat my partners like partners, not like someone I find to use. Aren't you supposed to have a soft spot for your partner and relieve stress and problems for them? Honestly, I'd pin the reason she cheated on me on her horrible father issues, lack of masculine role models, and no discipline for poor actions. She was a narcissistic manipulator. If something wasn't done exactly her way, it was immediately wrong. There was a constant need to get her point across, even if it was incorrect, and there's so much more I could list. Am I really in the wrong here? I highly doubt it. I know no one is perfect, but I never hit her, yelled at her, or treated her poorly. I cooked, cleaned, worked 10-hour days to help support her, and more. I just don't get it. Can't help but feel disgusted, though. This is a harsh thing to have happen. Final update. Summary. My best mate of 2 years got my ex-partner of 4 years pregnant behind my back. She had been cheating on me for 2 years prior, unbeknownst to me. This is the final update. It's been about 7 months since everything happened. I went through every emotion and learned more than I ever could have from the experience. It may be weird to say, but I think I needed this to happen. Everything I knew as my previous life was violently and abruptly taken away from me. Everything I was familiar with, my routine, and the people I thought were my friends. During that time, I discovered who really stood by my side. Having everything I was comfortable with stripped from me really opened my eyes to the world around me. The truth was, I was just a naive person who thought life was all sunshine and rainbows. I thought my life was perfect, and if I lived it that way, no harm would come to me. But as you know, I was wrong. Good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. But I'm glad I had the support of the people I did during that time. Things might have gone differently without them. Luckily for me, due to my nature to treat people how I expect to be treated, it wasn't hard for people to naturally take my side and call bullshit when she tried to spread rumors of me being an abusive alcoholic. The truth is, I didn't have to change a single thing or even defend myself as much as I thought I would have to. People knew who I was and knew she was lying, and every day I am thankful for that. In having my old life stripped from me, I think it's exactly what I needed. I'm still so young, 21, and since all of this, my life has really just begun. I stayed consistent with my training, and now I'm actually winning rounds in competitions. I got a promising new job on the line and a whole list of things I want to achieve in the coming years. It may be immature, but the truth is they really are losers. I see him at training occasionally, and my mind tells me to yell and scream and be upset. But the truth is, I truly just feel sad for him. I truly can't be bothered to care about them anymore, because I have my own life to live and goals to achieve. They destroyed a weak part of me in an attempt to destroy me altogether. But instead, they molded someone more dedicated to helping those around him and wanting to do better in every aspect of my life. Funny how that works, how having the most life-altering event thus far can somehow change my whole life's dynamic to want to improve and be better. Although I still struggle to get decent sleep, I thank every day for the people who helped me. The stories I've told don't even scratch the surface of the mental and emotional abuse. For those who are curious, I've heard through the grapevine that she has him wrapped around her thumb. This guy's life is literally over. His family threatens to call the police if he goes back to his family house, and last I heard, she has put on quite a bit of weight. For someone who seemed to care so much about their body image, I find it a little funny. I knew the universe would have my back, and the people I never knew I could truly rely on emerged. Every day, I am thankful for that. When all of this started, I was very angry, confused, and frustrated. How I spoke in my last posts about them is not a true reflection of me, but an unfortunate attempt to properly process my emotions. Though getting it off my chest did help, speaking like that did not, a rambling mess. I'll try not to give up on love. I know there's someone out there, but until I truly get over this and process my emotional baggage, they will have to wait. Better times are ahead. To think my first post rant was 153 days ago at this time is pretty insane. So much time has gone by and I don't have much to show for it. I've pretty much been in survival mode, living off one meal a day, but I think that's okay. I've been eating more and I have much to work towards right now. This was the outcome with a full support network. For those who don't have that, I can only imagine what you must be going through. Please stay strong. There are better times ahead. Thanks for all the support. If you have any questions, just ask, and I'll answer the best I can. Top comments. 1. It's always great when you have children with somebody you barely know, with a relationship that's based solely off of sex. What could go wrong? Those types of relationships always work out. 2. Be prepared for a possible love attack from her, as the AP may get cold feet and run away from her in a panic as the news of him being a father completely sinks in. Your ex may show up at your place begging for another chance. If that happens, please record all her melodramatic outbursts. It will be great listening for you over beers with your friends. I know, it's a bit petty, but cheaters don't deserve sympathy. 3. Congrats for coming through this and not losing yourself to bitterness or anger. Your best days are ahead. 4. The same happened to me, without the pregnancy, when I was around your age. Now I look back on it with almost 45 years of hindsight, and man, I am glad it happened when it did. I look back on a great, still ongoing career, a fantastic marriage, great kids, and now grandkids. And the idle thought always goes back to those dim, dark days when I thought the world was ending. The thought comes to me that if I could go back in time and tell my old self what life had and still has in store for me, that the pain would have been lessened. But nah, it was much more fun seeing this great life slowly unfold before my eyes like a beautiful blooming flower. You'll be me in 45 years' time. You'll look back on this as a half-remembered memory and of a person that you can barely remember. You'll remember the act, but not the face. And then you'll just smile at the days ahead. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Drop a comment below to share your thoughts or experiences. I'd love to hear from you. And remember, life setbacks can often be the start of something greater. Take care, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.